What is up, guys? Welcome. Today we are doing something very wonderful. We are reviewing the VGC Worlds 2025. Alright, we're gonna go over the top 6 teams, or actually the top 10 teams. Starting with number 10, James. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that last name. Anyways, he was running Galaxy Shadow Rider with Terra Dark. It's a very interesting Terra type. It's very good against dark types. It allows you to resist that dark typing, holding the life orb for some extra damage, I'm assuming. And then we got Astral Barrage, Psychic, Nasty Plot Protect, pretty standard. Calyrex Shadow Rider, other than the Terra Dark, I think this is pretty standard. Rillaboom, Terra Fire, Surging Grassy Surge, Assault Vest, Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, Fake Out, U-Turn, pretty standard. Rillaboom, Volcarona, Terra Water. That's actually a very interesting pick with the Flame Body Leftovers, Fiery Dance, Kick a Drain, Over Dance Protect. Volcarona is very interesting. I think it probably was a thing, but that's not something that my eye caught. Something that's even more impressive than Volcarona. Koraidon with that Terrifier, Arcot Compulse, Clear Amulet, Flare Blitz, Collision Course, Flame Charge, and Protect. This is pretty standard. And then Regieleki, though, is not very standard. Regieleki with that Terra Electric, Transistor, Focus Sash, with Thunderbolt, Electro Weapon, Volt Switch, and Protect. Very interesting, very cool, in my opinion. Incineroar, Terra Bug. A lot of Incineroars are now using Terra Bug because of Koraidon. And for... I don't remember what the other thing is for, but there's another thing that it's good for. With the ability Intimidate, Safety Goggles, Knockoff Roar is really interesting. Fake Out, and Parting Shot. Interesting to have that Roar, probably to just kind of maneuver around things. Anyways, that was number 10. Number 9 was running Shadow Rider, an exact identical to number 10. His Incineroar, though, has Terra Ghost with a Rocky Helmet with Helping Hand, Knockoff, Parting Shot, Fake Out. So that's a little more standard that you see. Well, I think you're more standard to see Terra Bug right now than you are anything, so... yeah, but anyways, moving on, Raging Bolt with Terra Electric is a very interesting Terra type for the meta that we're in. Photosynthesis, obviously, because you can only have that booster energy, is a very interesting item. With Thunderbolt, Dragon Pulse, Thunderclap, and Protect. This is a really cool Raging Bolt set. Ogerpon, obviously Terra Fire, because it's the Heartflame Mask, and Heartflame Mask can only have Terra Fire. Heartflame Mask is what its whole name is, it's got the ability to Mold Breaker, which is pretty good. Ivy Cudgel, Grassy Glide, Follow Me, Spiky Shield, pretty interesting set in my opinion, but also a really powerful set. We got the Zamazenta with Terra Water. Yeah, it seems like Zamazenta likes to run Terra Water or Terra Dragon. They kind of like bounce between the two. Dauntless Shield, obviously. Rushy Shield, obviously, with the moves Heavy Slam, Body Press, Wide Guard, Protect. Nothing too crazy with this Zamazenta. Rillaboom, Terra Fire, Grassy Surge, Assault Vest, Fake Out, Woodhammer, U-Turn, Glass Glide. Yep, pretty standard, right? Moving on to number 8. Number 8 was running another identical Calyrex Shadow Rider. An identical Zamazenta to 9. Rillaboom is also identical. I thought this was the same team for a second. But then they have the Terra Fairy instead of the Terra Electric, but otherwise the same Raging Bolt. But they also are running Smurgle with the Terra Ghost, with Moody, Focus Sash, with Spore, Follow Me, Wide Guard, and Fake Out. And very interesting indeed. Their Incineroar was running Terra Water with the Safety Goggles, with Knockoff, Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, Fake Out. Pretty standard. Pretty standard set there. Now number 7. Number 7 was running Koraidon with the Clear Amulet, Flare Blitz, Low Kick, Flame Charge, Protect. That's very interesting. I like that set. They were running a Terra Normal Weathermane with a Focus Sash with Moonblast, Protect, Icy Wind, Shadow Ball. Very cool. A standard Rillaboom, Pretty standard. Incineroar with that Terra Water, the ability Intimidate, Safety Goggles, Helping Hand, Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Fake Out. Pretty cool. Clefairy is interesting. Terra Ground is also interesting. Guard is the only reason you'd use that. Evilite is also the only reason you can use that. With the Follow Me, Helping Hand, Encore, Protect, and again, that same Calyrex Shadow Rider. So very cool. That was, what? 7, so number 6. Number 6 was running Amoonguss with the Terra Fire, Regenerator ability. Rocky Helmet with Sludge Bomb Spore, Rage Power Protect. That was very interesting. The Amoonguss made it to Top Cut. Chen Pao made it to Top Cut apparently with the Terra Ghost, Swords of Ruin, Assault Vest with Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, Ice Shard Ruination. Very cool. Oh. A Terra Dragon Zamazenta with Body Press. This becomes Behemoth Bash. Wide Guard Protect. Very interesting that you go for the Behemoth Bash. Then you got... Oh, no, this one's different. You got a Terra Ghost with a Focus Sash. With Astral Barrage, Psychic, Encore, and Protect. Very interesting. We got Dragonite with the Terra Normal, Inner Focus, Choice Band. With Outrage. That's actually really brave. Stream Speed, Low Kick, and Aqua Jet. Wow, that's some interesting. It's an interesting Dragonite. Then this is pretty standard. No, it's not. Cornerstone with the Sturdy ability. Terra Rock, Cornerstone Mask, obviously with Ivy Cudgel, Power Whip. Follow Me, Spiky Shield. Very interesting. They are not worried about missing, apparently. Moving on to number 5. It's another Japanese player. Whimsicott with the Terra Water Prankster ability, holding the Covert Cloak with the moves Focus Blast, Encore, Light Screen, and Tailwind. Pretty standard, I would say, for that. Miraidon with the Terra Electric, Hydron Engine, and Life Orb. Okay, so also, I'd like to point out something. When we come back to... I'll come back to it, but I need to go over something. Electro Drift, Draco Meteor, Volt Switch, and Protect. Pretty standard Miraidon, in my opinion. Nothing crazy or out of the normal with that. North Luna with Terra Ghost, Guts, Flame Orb. Pretty interesting with Facade, Headlong Rush, Earthquake, and Protect. Terra Bug Incineroar with Intimidate, Assault Vest, Flare Blitz, Knockoff, U-Turn, Fake Out. Then he's got the Rapid Strike Urshifu with Terra Ghost. Interesting Terra type. They must be really trying to avoid Fake Out, which I don't blame them. With the... Oh, it's because they're Choice Band, so yeah, ignoring Fake Out is insane with this. So, got the Choice Band, Surging Strikes, Close Combat, Aqua Jet U-Turn, Terra Fairy with the Shadow Shield, Electric Seed. This thing is really hard to kill with Moongeist Beam, Moonblast, Wide Guard, and Trick Room. So let me go back to the Urshifu real quick. So the reason they have Terra Ghost and why this is so overpowered is because Choice Band, you know you can't protect. So when you you can put yourself in a position where you have Lunala and Urshifu Rapid Strike, or Urshifu and Whimsicott, where that makes it so your opponent's only Fake Out option is the Urshifu, so you can safely predict Terra Ghost, or their opponent can just not go for Fake Out. So that's why this is really good. Just thought I would give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on why that is as good as I'm saying it is. Alright, we have a... Okay, so back to Zamazenta. When I was making my top 10, I completely forgot Zamazenta was a Pokemon. I'm sorry, I would have put that in replace of the Necros Madongwing had I remembered him, but I completely forgot about him, but I do believe that he should have been on that list, so my apologies. My bad. But I did not remember him. So Zamazenta with the Terra Dragon, Body Pressed Heavy Slam, Right Guard Fake Out, pretty standard. It's another Encore Terra Ghost Focus Sash Calyrex. Very cool. This is the same Raging Bolt we've been seeing, but this one also has the Terra Electric like the first one did. Amoonguss with the Terra Water, Regenerator, Rocky Helmet, Spore, Sludge Bomb, Rage Powder, Protect. Then Dragonite with Terra Normal, Inner Focus, Choice Band, Extreme Speed, Low Kick, Aqua Jet, Outrage. Interesting. I really didn't think Outrage would be a attack, but apparently it is. And then Chien-Pao with the Terra Poison, Assault Vest. Very interesting. With Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, Ruination, and Icy Wind. It seems like Ruination was the kind of the play, which I can understand because there's a lot of bulky Pokemon. Right, and then number 3, it's another Japanese player running Incineroar with Terra Water with the ability Intimidate, Safety Goggles, Knock Off Flare Blitz, Fake Out, Parting Shot. Ice Rider, this one's a Terra Fairy, that is very cool, with the Leftovers held item, with the Glacial Lands Protect, Trick Room, Leech Seed, so this guy basically is made to never die. Rillaboom with a Terra Water this time, with Grassy Surge, Assault Vest, Woodhammer, Fake Out, Grassy Cloud, U-Turn, Smargle with the Terra Grass, that's very interesting. The ability Moody, Inner Focus, and Focus Slash with Ruination, Spore, Spiky Shield, and Follow Me. It really seems like Ruination was the play during this regulation. Landorus Incarnate Form, Terra Water, Sheer Force, Life Orb with Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Shears, Sandstorm, Sand Seer Storm, Protect, and Koraidon with Terra Fire, Oracle Compost, Clear Amulet, Flame Charge, Flare Blitz, Low Kick, Protect. Interesting. Another Low Kick Koraidon. That is a very cool idea. I don't hate that. That's really cool, honestly. Right, on to James Evans, second place, with the Raging Bolt with the Terra Electric, Thunderclap, Dragon Pulse, Thunderbolt, and a Volt Switch with the Assault Vest held item. That is a really cool Raging Bolt set. Landorus Incarnate with the Terra Water, Sheer Force, Life Orb with Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Sandsteer, Storm, Protect. Then we have the Terra Ghost Encore set of the Pyrex Shadow Rider with a Brute Bonnet with Terra Water, Photosynthesis, Covert Cloak, Sucker Punch, Seed Bomb, Spore, and Rage Powder. Very interesting. Koraidon with the Terra Fire, Oracle Compulse, Clear Amulet, Flare with the moves Flare Blitz, Collision Course, Flame Charge, Protect. Very cool. And then Incineroar with Terra Water, Intimidate, Rocky Helmet with Fake Out, Knock Off, Helping Hand, and Parting Shot. Very cool set, very cool set. Someone's trying to get my attention. I will get to them in a moment. Brute Bonnet. So this is the first place? Yes, so Giovanni. With the Brute Bonnet, Terra Water, Photosynthesis, Citrus Berry, Seed Bomb, Sucker Punch, Spore, Rage Powder, with Lunala, Terra Water, Shadow Shield, Power Herb with Geist Beam, Meteor Beam, Wide Guard, and Trick Room. That Power Herb is for a one-turn Meteor Beam. Those of you that do not know, then Ursaluna has Terra Ghost, Guts, Flame Orb with Headlong Rush, Sod, Earthquake, and Protect, pretty standard. Chi-Yu with the Terra Ghost, Choice Scarf, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave, Overheat Snarl, also pretty standard. And then he was running the Life Orb Close Combat Koraidon, so very cool. He was also running a Stellar Fluttermane with Focus Sash, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, Icy Wind, and Protect. So overall, a really cool team. So with that, let's go and watch the final match and kind of break it down. Alright, here we are. So let's get right into it. It is muted, good. Then let's speed it up a little. So that way the video is not like 5 hours long. Alright, so they led Incineroar and Brute Bonnet on James Evans' side, Chi-Yu and Fluttermane on Giovanni's side. In hindsight, James Evans does have the advantage here. He can very easily take control of the game. But let's see what they end up choosing to do. I mean, I've already seen it, but like, you know. Okay, so James is going to instantly go for the Terra Water for the Brute Bonnet, which is no way punishable. Fake out on the Chi-Yu, it is going to work. That Moonblast is not going to be enough, and that Sport is going to put them to sleep. So Giovanni right now is in a very uncomfortable position where he has to pay attention. He can't ignore the Brute Bonnet, which means the Incineroar could potentially just get a free hit on that Flutter Mane. And the Brute Bonnet is just or the Brute, and if you do ignore the Incineroar and ignore the Brute Bonnet, then you go to sleep, and then you have 2 Pokemon to sleep, and the Brute Bonnet can just kind of sit here and do whatever it wants here. So yeah, Giovanni's kind of back to a wall. Let's see if he can kind of crawl out of it. So he's going to instantly withdraw Flutter Mane for his own Brute Bonnet to kind of just eat up any potential Dark type attacks going into this slot. Chi-Yu is going to be asleep and is going to have its Toy Scarf knocked off, which just puts them in a very interesting position. So now I think Giovanni is in a position where it kind of threatens James Evans, because he's in a position where he could just Seed Bomb the opposing Brute Bonnet, and the Chi-Yu could potentially wake up and be able to do some serious damage here, or you can sleep the Incineroar as you attack the Chi-Yu. So it's very unfortunately though, he does not wake up. The Citrus Berry is knocked off, but now the Incineroar is asleep, which is going to be very unfortunate for James Evans, because now Giovanni has 100% the advantage here, because he's got to sleep. The only Pokemon that he has that isn't threatened by Chi-Yu is asleep, which means Chi-Yu can potentially just go crazy here. Rhydon is going to come out, giving the Photosynthesis boost to that Brute Bonnet. The Incineroar is going to stay asleep, same with the Chi-Yu. Oh no, Chi-Yu is still also going to stay asleep. So 3 turns of sleep is going to be very unfortunate, but now there is a Rhydon out here with not much to threaten the Rhydon, which puts Giovanni in again in not a bad position, and they guarantee waking up Chi-Yu. Fortunately, he can just go for the Sucker Punch to make sure that Chi-Yu can't attack him, but if he does do that and they don't, and it doesn't work, he could potentially just be losing Brute Bonnet for no reason. He's going to try to go for that Chi-Yu, knock it out. I don't think Giovanni's too worried about that, because Giovanni basically gets to return with a Flame Charge, getting that speed boost, which is very important, which means it's faster than James Evans' Rhydon, and also, I believe, his Shadow Rider, which is very important in this matchup to have that speed advantage. Also allows him to bring out his own Brute Bonnet to even out the playing field here. Because again, James Evans' Brute Bonnet is no longer a grass type, which means it is able to be Spored and Rage Powder, but I don't know if it has had Rage Powder, but he is able to be Spored. The Calyrex Shadow Rider is coming out. Let's see what happens here. Oh, called the Close Combat into that slot. He is going to try to reposition, James Evans is going to try his best to reposition himself into a more winning state, which is possible, but also I don't know if he's going to be able to truly pull it off with that Rhydon staring them down with 1+1 speed, making him the fastest thing on the board, but he is going to bring back out the Brute Bonnet to put up some Spore pressure, but the Brute Bonnet is just going to go to sleep as it comes back out, which now means it's going to be a very scary place for James, because James Evans could lose his Calyrex here with a double in with like a Sucker Punch and a Flame Charge will knock out the Calyrex Shadow Rider before it gets to react. So Giovanni's going for his own Terra on the Rhydon just to make sure that he lives a Psychic here. He does not want to be going down. The Brute Bonnet sleeps, but the Brute Bonnet is also going to get taken out by Koraidon, making it now 3-3. James Evans losing his Terra. Giovanni still having the Terra Pokemon in the active. I would say that this puts Giovanni in an advantage, especially with that +1 Koraidon. James Evans is going to try to bring out his own Koraidon here, but unfortunately his Koraidon is just not going to be fast enough to stop this Koraidon Brute Bonnet. And his Brute Bonnet is pretty free to go for that Sucker Punch into the Shadow Rider or a Spore. So there's not much stopping him from doing any of those things, and then Koraidon can just kind of... He's going to go for the Withdraw into the Flutter Mane, which is quite a crazy play. Let's see if it plays out. Oh, it looks like it is going to work out. Oh yeah, because now you waste the Intimidate on a Flutter Mane and Brute Bonnet, which Brute Bonnet and Flutter Mane are not really here to be doing damage. Brute Bonnet is going to go down, which further makes that switch even better, because now he gets to put himself in a position where he can switch something out into Shadow Rider, but there is that Flutter Mane to threaten a slot. So if Giovanni calls the switch right, it's kind of game over for James Evans. And with no Terra for his Koraidon is extremely threatened by this Flutter Mane, so Flutter Mane is kind of free to do whatever it pleases with that Focus Sash. He is going to try to be able to have Intimidate for later and potentially Fake Out for later with that, bringing that out, but Giovanni is just going to go for that Oko. He is just going to go for the Flame Charge, guaranteeing his victory here. There's no way the Incineroar in this 1 HP Shadow Rider, which is slower than I believe the Koraidon right now, and also the Flutter Mane does have a Focus Sash attack. So there's not much here James Evans can do unless he can absolutely call everything that Giovanni does correctly. He's going to go for that Protect to try to scope out what's happening, but he is just going to lose that Incineroar in return. Flutter Mane going to try to go for a Moonblast. Now, there's no way for James Evans to move on, but with that Protect it also gives him an extra turn to kind of plan for the next game. So let's just skip to the next game. So we have repeat leads. Again, technically, either one lead here. These leads are pretty neutral. It really all depends on who calls out who better and who can figure out what is going where. He's gonna go for that Sucker Punch, breaking the Sash. But Giovanni is just going to double into that Brute Bonnet, making sure it cannot put anything to sleep. He is going to lose that Twist Scarf, but I think it's a good trade. Unfortunately though, that losing that Focus Sash for Flutter Mane is very bad, because that means there's nothing to stop this Shadow Rider from causing mayhem, since the Focus Twist Scarf is gone on the GU and the Focus Sash is gone on the Flutter Mane, which makes this position very hard for Giovanni to get around the Calyrex. Again, there's plenty of things on his team that could just eat this like the Incineroar, but he is going to bring out the Brute Bonnet, trying to scope out what this Shadow Rider wants to be doing, and he's also going to try to nullify that. James Evans is going to react with a Parting Shot to make sure that Chiyu can't do as much damage to his Pokemon right now, because that Chiyu is allowed to do a lot of damage. It will do a lot of damage. Now the position where James Evans is in a very demanding position where he's basically in control of what happens in the game right now, and Giovanni is going to figure out how to escape this pressure. So now James Evans is going to go for that Terra onto the Koraidon, making it no longer scared of that Flutter Mane. But Giovanni is going to counter with his own Terra on his side of the field with the Brute Bonnet. Astral Barrage. Brute Bonnet's not going to take it as well because it Terra. He is just going to go for the Chi-Yu and the speed boost, which puts Giovanni in a quite a bad position. But Spore is going to help him kind of keep up with the momentum that James Evan has created. So now we know that he has one mystery Pokemon that he has not revealed quite yet, which means there's a chance that we'll be seeing some very powerful. He's going to go out with the Koraidon here. He's going to probably try to figure out how he can maneuver around this position to win. It is very, again, James is going to go for that Protect to make sure that he can kind of scope out what's happening here. The Calyrex is going to be sleeping. Oh, he tried to call out the switch into Incineroar and called it incorrectly, which means James Evans gets basically the mandatory turn of sleep out of the way and potentially can wake up next turn and win the game. Collision Course on this opposing Koraidon is very good, but the Calyrex is going to stay asleep. And now both of James's Pokemon are asleep, putting James in a little bit of a scary position where I believe Calyrex is in range of that Brute Bonnet to take out a KO on it. And Koraidon here could potentially knock out the other Koraidon before it gets to wake up. Their Koraidons are currently speed tied, but so now he's going to go through that mandatory, but the Calyrex does wake up to protect itself. What it looks like Giovanni didn't care that was what was going to happen. He knew that was going to happen. He tried to put it back to sleep. Unfortunately, it was not able to. The sun is going to go away, making the Koraidons a little bit less as powerful. Now Giovanni's in a scary position where his Koraidon is starting to get low on HP in order to be able to attack. I think that he made the right that call for the Incineroar was the mistake he made here. The Incineroar is going to be coming out here now. That Citrus Spray is going to help that Brute Bonnet potentially claw its way back to being able to do stuff. A Protect is coming out here. Brute Bonnet Sucker Punch fails. Close Combat is going to hit through that Protect, putting Giovanni in a losing situation here. There's no way for him to get around a Koraidon that is awake without the sun, and an Incineroar that could potentially be faking him out. So yeah, now I think Giovanni realizes he's going to lose, but he's going to take his time to try to figure out what he can do for Game 3 to make sure he can guarantee that victory. And that is what it looks like he is doing. James Evans is definitely in a winning position here. He's got basically all the advantage he needs. The Fluttermane is going to try to come out to an unfortunate knockoff. But again, I think Giovanni knows that he's losing this match, but he's going to take as much time as he can to just kind of figure out and plan out his next game. Bonnet's going to get that photosynthesis boost on his defense again, making it a little more tougher than it was. The Rage Powder is coming out to try to potentially pull out a win here, but with that Shadow Rider, he does have to take out 2 KOs here, but there's no way for him to really take out 2 KOs. His best plan of action is to take out the Incineroar here and try to just Brute on it, kill the Calyrex. I believe that is his best play to make. James Evans, though, as long as he can call that out and kind of just protect with Calyrex, ignoring the Sucker Punch. He's going to go out on top. Oh, protect is going out into an Encore. Oh no. That loses Giovanni the game here because now Giovanni is stuck with Rage Powder. If Giovanni had gone for the Sucker Punch, even though it wouldn't have done damage this turn, it would have at least been in a position where it was not locked into Rage Powder. So now he's got to figure out what he can do here, and there's not really much, so he's going to probably just timer stall to figure out what his next play is for game 3. Yeah, he's going to knock out the Incineroar, which I believe he did a turn too late in order for this to matter. The Incineroar gets knocked out from that Rocky Helmet, and then an Astral Barrage single targeting into that Blue Bonnet is going to be enough to knock it out. So now we are going into game 3 with the exact same lead again. Will Giovanni make the same mistake and lose both of his valuable items? Or will Giovanni call this out and make plays that stops James Evans from doing so? We'll have to find out what. So Giovanni is going to go for the switch into the Brute Bonnet. Not a bad switch in my opinion. That Fluttermane is going to get that Protect on. Fake out into the Bonnet. Sucker Punch is going to fail. Because of the Protect on the Fluttermane, he really does not want to be losing this Focus Sash here. Because if he loses the Focus Sash, knocking out that Shadow Rider becomes extremely difficult. So now it looks like James Evans is going. Oh no, Giovanni is going for a Terra Stellar on the Fluttermane with a Moonblast into the Brute Bonnet, knocking it out in one hit, putting James in a bit of a precarious situation here with a sleeping Incineroar and having to stare down a Terra Stellar Fluttermane. Rhydon is going to come out. He can just go for that Stellar boosted Shadow Ball and do a ton of damage to this Rhydon here, giving Giovanni kind of the control over this game because James Evans either has to accept he's going to lose a Rhydon here or Terra and just hope that he doesn't go for the Shadow Ball and calling a Moonblast, or he calls the Shadow Ball and just does not use his Terra on the Rhydon to use his Terra elsewhere. It looks like he's going to go for the Terra and hoping for no Shadow Ball from that Terra Stellar. Fluttermane is going to go for the Moonblast into the Incineroar, Collision Course into the Brute Bonnet, and it knocks. Oh, with that crit, it's going to be able to pick up the KO on the Brute Bonnet, but Incineroar is still asleep. And now Giovanni knows that that's a Terrifier Rhydon that he can now very easily go into either his Chi-Yu to guarantee that he has 2 Pokemon outspeeding his Rhydon here, putting Rhydon in a position where it may not be able to get to attack this turn, forcing it to play defensively, but then it might leave his Incineroar to get KO'd. Giovanni is definitely in a controlling position in this turn right now, with the fastest Pokemon on the field, with a Pokemon that also cannot be one-shot. And no matter what, he is going to go for that Protect to try to scope out the Moonblast, the Shadow Ball, and the Shadow Ball was called. That Heat Wave is still going to do a ton to that Incineroar, which is still sleeping. So now there's a chance for Giovanni to take a double KO here unless if James Evans makes a switch. But even if he does make a switch, there's a chance that he could still just lose the game. Shadow Ball, he's going to go into that Rhydon, putting it down into some critical damage. He is going to take, and then Giovanni takes a double KO with the Chi-Yu, putting him in an absolutely winning position. This is impossible for Giovanni to lose because he still has that Focus Sash and that Choice Scarf, so there's no way for him to lose this match, making him the world champion of 2025. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy watching that, consider subscribing. And if you guys want me to be reviewing regionals and stuff in the future, let me know, because this is really fun. I love doing the research for this. I think that Worlds is really, really cool. I find it really funny that the two Boot Bonnet teams that made it to top 10 were the second and first place teams. Something to think about is that I think in all the Koraidons in top 10, only Giovanni's was running the Life Orb Close Combat set, which proves to me that that is the best and only way to be playing Koraidon right now. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy, please consider hitting that like button. It shows me you really like this stuff, and I'll keep putting some more stuff out like this. Also, subscribe, because when Champions drops, I'm going to be diving back into the content creation of VGC. I don't think I'll be competing VGC, but I will be doing content creation, which means maybe some online tournaments if there's something that's happening in that game. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your days. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.